Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and we are home from a show. Now you're probably watching this saying, oh my god, I saw the show you were at. You left those animals in there that long. Look, it's the magic of TV. It's really kind of just after the show for us. Like, and we came home, got some sleep, now we're doing it. Like, you probably see it a week later. They ain't been here for a week. We're going to show you some of the things that we do post a show. Obviously, we want to track all of our babies. So we're going to go through here. I have a list. And Caleb, he's really smart. So when he put these babies in here, he left all the tubs we pulled babies out of just slightly ajar to make it much easier to find their home. It's like 221504 here. It's a little spot nose. Did not sell for us. We moved about, I don't know, 10 to 12 snakes or so overall, which isn't too bad. I'll take it. Had a decent show there at TULSA. Met a lot of cool people. But we'll pull these out. When they go in the tub, they get a squirt. When they come out, they get a squirt. Not because they have mites, because we don't want them to pick up mites at a show. We also don't want to have something that we're unaware of and take something to a show. I mean, we don't see any mites in our collection, but it's just one of those things. Shows, I love shows, but they can be a breeding ground for mites. If a guy clear across the room accidentally brought a snake that has some mite eggs on it that he can't see, some dude handles it, and then comes over and handles one of yours, guess what you just got? A motherfucking mites, right? So spray them down before you go. Spray them down when you come back. It's just a really cheap preventative to make that less likely for you. So then I'll go into my computer log here, and I'll show that I took that one out to take to the show. I will now remove that mark so we know it's back. And then what I'll do is I can log the ones that we sold out. Again, 220101, lesser pastel. Come on, little buddy. Come on, little buddy. Again, same thing. Give it a squirt. There you go. Really simple. By the way, if you like these cool keychains that say I love my balls, you can pick purple or you can pick a different color, but why wouldn't you just pick purple because it's cool? JoJo makes those. They're pretty awesome, and I love having it. We get asked about it all the time. So, wanted to share that. So got that one done, and this is really simple. It's not a very fast process, but this is a process we use. This fire calico still here? My God, why don't we try to sell this one harder? I don't even remember talking about this snake much. Why not? Okay, that's it. Next time, guys, I'm selling this thing. Because I should have sold you. Why didn't I sell you? Probably because you're a male. Maybe that's it. 222204. So let me go back in here. Really simple. Make an assembly line of it. It'll get a lot better for you. It's not so hard. So we'll kind of go through a whole case. And then two, I also write sold on them when I am at the show. It does two things, guys. When you write sold on those, one of the things it does is it lets you know you're selling stuff. Let your customers know that you're selling stuff. So people are like, well, I'll come back and get that later. Okay, maybe you will. But you know what? It may not frickin' be here, man. Because we're moving shit out. That's what we're doing. Also, if a customer wants to buy something and says, hey, I want to buy 221803. I'm going to go ahead and pay for it now, but can I pick it up at the end of the show and we'll walk around a bit first? Hell yeah. But you want to make sure not forget you sold it to them, right? Right sold on that damn thing so you don't get in the heat of the moment and sell a snake twice because that would be really embarrassing at a show. So don't do that. So this is marked sold. Looks cool. Looks good. I always use a different color. It's pretty easy. And here's another lesser pastel. We had several of them. This one's 220905. You're like, why aren't you pulling out the boas? Well, the boas got to take a trip to Kurt's house. That's where they live. We'll still scan them back in just like we were going to pull them out. So that I can find this number. Where are you at? Where are you at? I can't look for numbers and talk. You weren't one of the ones that was down here, were you? No. Oh, there it is. Just takes a second. And then we'll come back over here to 220104. This is a queen bee, and I'll be honest, man, I could have probably sold this snake 3 times at that show. But I always do have the talk with customers about spider. I don't downplay it. I tell the truth about it. And sometimes, I'm going to have to refill my bottle here soon. Sometimes that is a detriment to selling the animal, right? It makes the animal a little harder to sell. But that's okay. I'd rather be upfront and honest. And this thing will move because it is gorgeous. It's always one of the favorites. But the last 2 shows we've taken it to, yet it still ends up staying. So kind of work through here. And then on the last one here, we got one more snake we want to pull out. Ooh, this big old girl here. I'm also kind of surprised we kept her. We priced her really well to get her out the door, especially some size that she had on her. Just one of those I kind of kept sitting around and never. Oh, stop that! You're fine. You don't need to be Captain Hissy Pants. You're really not going to like what's going to happen next. For whatever reason, they don't much like getting sprayed with this stuff. I think it's just because it's a liquid temperature change. You probably want the back of her. Yeah. That's on their skin. So that's kind of what we do. Let me log that one back in. So anyway, before I get off of here and go do the next one, because I'll be honest, guys, it's already a little bit late in the day. We want to get this done, and it does take longer when I'm talking to you. And we'll slide over to Patreon and talk a little bit about how our show went, how it fits into what we consider a good show, whether or not it's worth going back to Tulsa, whether or not it's on our list. Are we ever going to return? Are we going to blow Tulsa off next time? Man, you'd have to go to Patreon to find out for that. Kurt, any questions about how we're going to pack in and pack out of a show?
No.
Caleb, any questions?
Nope.
So, you don't have to use this method, but a couple things I'm going to tell you that are really important. Look, man, when you got just a handful of babies and you're going to a show with 10 or 15 babies or 25 babies, and it's only 25 babies you made, this isn't something you really got to work that hard through. When you start having more and more babies, it starts getting harder to keep track. So you got to kind of come up with systems that work in whatever nutty brain that you've got, because my system may not work for you because I'm fucking crazy. So it's got to be one that works for you. Basically what I do is I have a list of all the snakes that are ready. Looks kind of like this here. Really simple, right? When we have them, it says with us now, that's out of the show. When it goes in the box, it gets an X. When it comes out of the box, the X comes off. What doesn't have the X that comes off, I know I sold. I can go listed as sold in our sheet. But it's very important you remove that X as you take it out. Otherwise, you'll forget one. Don't think I'll remember it later. Then you'll have a snake set back there that you think is gone, that you think you sold, that you didn't. So it's really important to kind of do that in order. Any questions about that? So again, just make sure you have a system. Log your snakes in, log your snakes out. Know what you're taking, know what you brought back. It's not hard. Write and sold on the tub. It'll also help you remember, because before we clean these off, we'll go through and double check. Anything else? All right, guys, that is all I got. We'll see y'all next time.